I have found that many successful entrepreneurs, they're really good at not just tunnel vision on their thing. They're watching what's going on out there in business. They're seeing what's working and what's not working. They're in constant research mode. Say more just a second about the importance of paying attention in that way.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I think because I was selling businesses, but what I was doing, I was making an income while I was finding out what I really wanted to do. So as I was looking at these new businesses and existing businesses and franchise companies coming out, I took a look at them as if, is this something that I may want to buy or I may want to be into? Because I had sold my heating and air conditioning company. I was 20 years old. I had a pocket full of cash and I was ready to buy something, ready to get into something. But as a broker, I had now had the opportunity to see everything. And so that was my vision, was to play in that game until I found something that I really wanted to focus on.
I love it. So fast forward, you're meeting a lot of people, you're having a lot of successes, you're buying and selling businesses, and then you meet Mark, and you guys hit it off. So Mark, tell us about that experience.
Yeah, it's really, something that I'm really proud of, because we write this book together, Mentor to Millions, and it turns out the book itself would never have happened if it wasn't for a mentor that I had in my life by the name of Zig Ziglar. So I had a mentor when I was young. I know Dave Ramsey had Zig as a mentor as well, and I was very fortunate to have Zig in my life. And he was my first real official mentor, and he just showed me so many things that really paved the way for me in the next stage of my life. Well, here's the cool part. I had obviously seen Kevin on Shark Tank. I didn't know Kevin. Kevin didn't know me, but what I didn't know about Kevin was back there in the early 80s when he is founding the infomercial, guess who his mentor was? None other than Zig Ziglar. And I've got behind me, Kevin, The Secrets of Closing the Sale, one of the originally published books signed by Zig. And so Zig was Kevin's mentor during that pivotal time in his life where he's beginning the art of the infomercial. And so I don't know Kevin. Kevin doesn't know me, but we have a mutual mentor in Zig, and Zig passed. And so here we are, we've got children, Kevin's a dad, I'm a dad. We want our kids to have this legacy of our mutual mentor. So we reconnect with the family, the children of Zig Ziglar. And it was actually the son of our mutual mentor after Zig had passed this earth that introduced me to Kevin. So I met Kevin through a really cool connection because we had this in common with Zig Ziglar. But I also picked up very quickly that he was one of the busiest people on the planet. I mean, this guy's schedule makes me dizzy just looking at it. So here I am, I meet him, I know him, I like him, we develop some trust with each other. So how in the world am I going to get him to be my mentor? So he's a guy who's received all these pitches in his life, and I thought, I got to put my best pitch ever together. Because people ask me all the time, how did you get a shark from Shark Tank to be your mentor? And I went to him and said, Kevin, you are busy, your schedule is crazy, I'm going to make this easy for you. I'm going to make sure that this is not difficult for you to mentor me. And I'm going to value your time every minute that we spend together. And then I commit to being your best student. And that was the pitch that sealed the deal. Now, this is a guy who's seen 50,000 pitches, but he's never had someone come up and say, I will be your best student. And I think that's so important for people to hear, that when you raise your hand and say, I'm ready to be mentored, and you get in front of the right person, you need to be committed to be their best student. And if you are, then when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And Kevin showed up in my life in a very big way. And we developed a personal relationship, a professional relationship. We've done business together, but it all started back from that mutual mentorship. And quite frankly, that's why we wrote the book, because we want everybody to know super successful people have one thing in common, and that is they had mentors in their life at such an important point in their life to help their unique ability find the world. We actually believe that if you've got a purpose, a product, or a passion that the world needs, the fastest and biggest way to get it to the world is through mentorship.
Oh, I love it. And we agree, completely agree. I want to talk about the book, but first I want to underscore something you did that I think is really profound and really special, frankly. We've all had people come and ask us, hey, could you be my mentor? And that feeling where you're like, I want to, but I'm busy, and I'm glad you want mentorship, but when you ask somebody to be your mentor, by the nature of them being your mentor, they're busy, they're successful, they've got a lot going on. And it strikes me, Mark, that you knew what you wanted and you made it easy for Kevin, and you had a deck ready to say, this is what this could look like. And it wasn't just this vague, will you be my mentor, and putting the burden of all that thinking on on Kevin to figure that out. You actually came in and you had something, and you knew how to ask for what you wanted instead of this vague request.
Definitely. And, we one of the things that Kevin and I've talked about is there's really a formula for getting the most out of a mentor. So, if you're out there and you're saying, man, I want a mentor in my life, I need a mentor in my life, I'm ready for a mentor in my life. The formula goes like this. Number one, you've got to have the confidence, the courage, the vulnerability to raise your hand and say, I'm ready. And say, I'm ready for a mentor. I need a mentor in my life, and get the right mentor. And by the way, that mentor's probably busy, just like you said. I mean, if they're sitting around with nothing to do, they may not be the right mentor for you. And somebody that's failed, you want somebody that's failed for two reasons. One, they've learned a lot from that failure. And number two, they'll let you fail, because failure is part of the entrepreneurial journey. You want someone that's going to let you fail and then help you see the learning that you've got. So step one is get the right mentor. Step two, we just covered it, be their best student. Act now. Implement the things that they tell you to do so that you can go back and say, this didn't work or this did work, and you can learn from that. But then step three is probably the most important step of all, and it's the part that a lot of people look over, and that is you've got to take everything you learn from your mentor and you have to teach someone else. You must teach someone else. That's what locks it in. Up to that point, you're just a collector of wisdom if you're just collecting the wisdom for your mentor. Once you teach someone else, then you've locked it in your life. Then it becomes foundational for you that you can build a business on, that you can build relationships on, that you can build a family on. What's crazy is Kevin showed me how to scale. My first business is on its way to do $100 million. And I could never have achieved that kind of scale. I always tapped out at a certain level. And that's why I originally asked Kevin to be my mentor, was to help me learn how to scale. But in reality, I figured out that I could take those same lessons I was learning from him, apply them back to my family, and scale every area of my life, not just my business. And that's what's really cool. When you have the right mentor, you double down and learn everything you can, and you start teaching other people, you are then on your way to impacting millions.